Ah, yes. World of Warcraft. Now, this massive multiplayer online role playing game took the world by storm back in 2004, and I'll be honest, I'm guilty of still playing it to this day. Now, I didn't get the chance to play it when it came out. I was a kid. I wasn't about to go ask my dad to not only pay for an internet subscription, but also pay for the subscription to an online video game. Let's just say that I enjoyed living. I was thankful enough for what I had at the time. But fast forward a bit, and I got into it mostly in private servers when I was around 15 years old. It was a huge part of my life, for the better or worse. I sunk a huge number of hours into it. I lost a lot of sleep because I wanted to maximize my playtime. I kind of used it as a crutch, almost as an escape from reality because school wasn't going so hot, didn't really have that many friends. Socially, I wasn't the most competent person in the world, and I struggled overall in my classes. Looking back at it now, obviously I should have tackled all those feelings and tried to improve those aspects of my life as much as I could, starting with, cutting playtime and getting more hours of sleep, but I didn't, which eventually I grew up not resenting myself for it because I feel like I'm in a pretty good place mentally and physically right now, and I feel like I learned from those mistakes. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have learned, if that makes any sense. So why is it that to this day, I still go back to it one way or another, be it retail or even a private server? I hear a lot of people say you don't really quit WoW, you simply take progressively longer breaks, and honestly, I think that may be the case for me. Some people say it's nostalgia, some people think it's trying to relive the good old days. It's like there's this little bug hibernating inside of me, and when I see something WoW related a long time after I've stopped playing, it just wakes up and kind of takes over my whole body, and I start to imagine the world and leveling through it and making a new character, making it progressively stronger, farming gold, crafting my gear, making a name for myself in a guild, making new friends. It's just, it's a feeling that I can't quite put to words, and I can't help but feel like I'm not the only one. If it hasn't been obvious by the footage, I'm a little biased towards classic WoW because it's just more slower paced. You can really take everything in, and it's just not a feeling I get in more modern iterations of the game. Not to say they're not good, it's just they don't fulfill me personally. I like to take in the world, the views. I like to have to kill enough mobs to be able to craft my gear. I just like to take it nice and slow and really savor the experience. So I really got to thinking about this little bug that wakes up every year and a half, that takes a hold of me and makes me desperately want to create a new character. I kind of realized it really isn't about the game itself. Like, obviously, we never stop enjoying the game every time we end up taking a longer break, but it's more the prospect of having a fresh start. For me, at least, the possibilities are endless. The theory crafting begins. What class will I play? What race will I pick? What build am I going to go for? What am I going to do for professions? I catch myself being completely thrilled and hypnotized by this whole process. Like, no joke, sometimes I'll just walk around my room for a couple hours, theory crafting in my head, like talking to myself, thinking about all the choices I'll make. Funny thing is, like, most of the time, by the time I stop playing that character in particular, I won't really end up in the position I envision myself being in my head to begin with. Most of the time, I'll envision myself being in, like, full best in slot Nax gear and a random Warsong Golds, just one-shotting people in PvP, looking hella cool in my tier 3 gear. It's almost as if I get caught up in what I could be, in that vision, that I kind of forget about everything else that came before it. I kind of neglect enjoying all of the leveling, all of the small interactions I have with people in the game, all the laughs, all the silly moments, all the times I slip off a cliff and fall to my death. Or even, the joy of getting an upgrade, or even the joy of coming home after a hard day's work and just relaxing, walking around Elwyn Forest, and that theme, man, that theme hits like... Much like in life, I feel like we're so glued to the idea of what we could be, about a future vision of ourselves. Like, if you work, if you have a job, you're probably thinking about the next paycheck. When's Friday coming? The next promotion. When you'll finally be able to afford a house, or even finish paying your house loans, then you'll finally be happy. Right? Or maybe you're dieting or working out, and when you get your dream physique, then you'll be happy. Right? The thing I realized from all this is, maybe not so much, Much like playing WoW, what makes it so good isn't the end goal. It isn't getting there. It isn't getting the best gear. It isn't finally being able to one-shot other players. It most definitely isn't getting rich or getting into shape. I mean, sure, all of these things help, but maybe it's just the road you take to get there. It's the struggles along the way. It's the ups and downs. It's the small little wins. It's all of the small little optimizations and the little troubleshooting that you had to figure out to get there. The next time you think about how much you'd like to be back to the good old days, be it in the game or in life, think about it. Maybe you're in the good old days right now, and you don't even realize it. If you stuck with me for this long, thank you so much for watching. This is completely uncharted territory for me. This is a new project. I'm going to have plenty more videos like these coming out in the future. They won't all be about WoW, but if you enjoyed it, stick around for my next one, and take care.